The real Nakba that no one talks about. The expulsion and exodus of over 850,000 Jews from Arab and Muslim countries in and after 1948. Until the 1960s, approximately 1 million Jews lived in Iran and other Arab countries, having arrived in the region more than 2,000 years before. Nowadays, it is estimated that only around 15,000 remain, as the majority of the Jewish population in Muslim lands were forced to flee their homes in the years following the establishment of the State of Israel. This mass expulsion and exodus is part of modern history, but inexplicably it's neither taught at schools nor remembered within the context of the conflicts in the Middle East. For over 2,500 years, Jews lived continuously in North Africa, the Middle East, and the Gulf region. The first Jewish population had already settled there at least 1,000 years before the advent of Islam. Despite the positive influence that Jews brought to the places where they lived, more than 850,000 Jews were forced to leave their homes in Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Libya, Morocco, and several other Arab countries in the 20 years that followed the Arab-Israeli War of 1948. Another major forced migration took place from Iran in 1979-80, following the Iranian Revolution and the collapse of the Shah's regime, adding 70,000 more Jewish refugees to this number. In 1947, the Political Committee of the Arab League, League of Arab States, drafted a law that was to govern the legal status of Jewish residents in all of its member states. This draft law of the Arab League provided that all Jews, with the exception of citizens of non-Arab countries, were to be considered members of the Jewish minority state of Palestine, that their bank accounts would be frozen and used to finance resistance to Zionist ambitions in Palestine. Jews believed to be active Zionists would be interned as political prisoners and their assets confiscated. Only Jews who accept active service in Arab armies or place themselves at the disposal of these armies would be considered Arabs. In a key address to the Political Committee of the UN General Assembly on the morning of November 24, 1947, just 5 days before that body voted on the partition plan for Palestine, Egyptian delegate Hakel Pasha declared, "The United Nations should not lose sight of the fact that the proposed solution might endanger 1 million Jews living in the Muslim countries. If the United Nations decided to partition Palestine, they might be responsible for very grave disorders and for the massacre of a large number of Jews." On 16 May 1948, the New York Times ran an article headlined, "Jews in grave danger in all Muslim lands. 900,000 in Africa and Asia face wrath of their foes."